participate and thrive in such markets. So today we have the privilege of hearing from Mr. Mukesh Lakhani, the Director of MD Import Export Limited, and also Ms. Petronilla Mloe, who is an environmental health practitioner. So they will share insights on, one, the opportunities available, the market opportunities available in the UK market, and probably beyond even the UK market for horticulture commodities, and also what are the key requirements. But also we'll hear from Petronilla on the procedures and regulations for importing food or particularly agriculture commodities into the EU or UK market. So allow me also to briefly introduce a very special initiative that is the TAHA, in collaboration with our UK embassy, is running. This is called the Horticulture Export Accelerator Program. It is a special initiative spearheaded by us, TAHA, but in close partnership with the Tanzania High Commission in the UK. And the initiative, we call it HIP, is designed to empower both new but also established horticulture companies in Tanzania by enhancing trade and export capabilities. But also another overarching objective is to ensuring compliance with international markets, as well as facilitating seamless access to lucrative markets such as the UK, but also the EU market. So the overarching objective of our initiative here is to increase the number of Tanzania exporters accessing these markets while enhancing volume, but also taking care of the quality and value of our horticultural commodities leaving Tanzania to destined markets. So I am very pleased to announce that TAHA will begin the full operationalization, implementation of HIP in December 2024, after a very successful vetting of companies that have applied for this program. So as part of this initiative, we will soon onboard participating companies, providing them with tailor-made capacity building support and also resources to access markets in the UK as well as other European markets. So with such few remarks, once again, I welcome you to this very, very important session. And I also would like to thank our expert, Mr. Mukesh Lakhani and Petronilla, for giving us your time in the midst of your very busy schedule to share your knowledge and your experience as we try to unlock market opportunities for the industry. But also on behalf of TAHA, I would like to thank our colleagues in the Tanzania High Commission UK for your continued support and partnership that is actually enabling the horticulture industry to continue surviving and thriving in the global market space. So asanteni sana, and ladies and gentlemen, with these few remarks, I declare that our webinar is now officially opened, and let's proceed now with other agenda on the program. Asante. So after that, we would now, we're honored to invite Mr. Mukesh Lakhani, the Director, MD Import Export Limited, to present to us on the market opportunities in the UK, but also what are the requirements for us to comply with as we access the market. Most welcome, Mr. Mukesh Lakhani.
Thank you. Let me introduce myself a little bit more. I was born in Uganda, and I've been living in UK since 1972. And over last 40 years, just over 40 years, I've been importing a lot of produce from around the world and trying to feed all the UK wholesale markets and a little bit to multiples as well. With Tanzania, yes, there is a good opportunity for fresh produce, fruits and vegetables. What we need to do is we need to know what different or what can you grow in the east, west, north, and south of Tanzania, something different to what we are at the moment getting out of Kenya and Uganda. That is number one. There is an opportunity for the Tanzanian produce in UK, as long as the quality is there, the price is there, and the packaging, which is very, very, very important. If they follow these 3 steps, yes, there is room in UK market for produce from Tanzania. Also, one thing, also the growers there in Tanzania, whenever they try and approach anybody in Europe or in UK, it is best for them to try and see and to know if the company is well established for more than 20, 30 years, and they are already importing from various countries, they should not ask them for the payment up front. First, see their reputation, see what they are doing. And then if you ship good quality produce, you will get the payment on time, on whatever terms we agree. That's very, very important. Especially on the vegetables, when they grow all these, they must make sure that there is no trips palmy or any fruit flies in the produce, like peppers, chilies, bitter melons, the Chinese bitter melons, all these things, the hot pepper, what you call pepe or habanero, all these things, they got to be with this fruit fly, without these fruit flies, and also try and comply with the spray, with the chemicals, which is within the EU or UK or EU requirement. There is always demand for certain product, like beans, chilies. The growers should tell us what time of the year they can supply. What is the calendar month? For the green chilies, red chilies, the habanero, the fresno chilies, all the different varieties of chilies. Once we get all that information, we can try and put it on the calendar and see where we can do and what we can bring in. Also, if the growers can try and grow in certain part of Tanzania, things like sugar snaps, snow peas, what we call monchto, these products, they can sell all year round, but there are certain time of the year where there is gap. So if the growers are growing in certain region, if they can let us know what time of the year they can supply, we can try and see if we can accommodate that as well by air on a regular basis. With the avocados, especially the Hass avocados, yes, the demand is good. It's growing, quite well. Every year it's just coming up. But most of the markets in UK, the wholesale markets, they do prefer on the sort of a larger fruit. When I say larger fruit, from account 12 to 18, that is the fast selling sizes for the UK wholesale markets. On the oriental vegetables, like the Chinese eggplant, all the different varieties of the baby eggplants, what we call the garden egg, what we call the long Reveria, is like a baby finger-sized aubergines, eggplants. The green Thai variety eggplants, if those are grown on the winter months as well, when I say winter months, from November till April, there is room for these in UK wholesale markets. With the sea container avocados, obviously because of the port, you have to use Mombasa. I think the transit time will be a bit too long, and it's a bit, for me, it will be a bit risky to import by sea container from Tanzania for UK, basically. Because of the logistic, because you have to take it to Mombasa, because you have to use the port from East Africa, from Mombasa port. And I think due to the transit time, which will take more than 30, 35 days, I think it will be a bit tricky on the Hass avocados. If you have any other questions, please do ask me and I will help in every way I can.
Mr. Lakani, maybe thank you very much for that very good piece of information. But maybe we would like you to take us through the key value chains that you think are very competitive from Tanzania. What are those varieties or products that you see Tanzania being at the competitive edge when we compare ourselves with others from Africa or outside Africa? You have mentioned avocado and chilies. What other varieties or products?
Like I mentioned to you, the things like okra, what they call ladyfinger, basically okra. That's another product which sells all year round. What we want to try and do is grow something little bit more different than what the existing neighboring countries are growing, and try and achieve good quality, and where the grower can make a good living, the exporter, the importer, everybody makes a little bit of living on there, and they keep selling all year round, basically. Like passion fruit as well. That's another thing which is a growing trend. Passion fruit, every year the volume increases. At the moment, there's a lot coming out of Colombia. The small purple passion fruit in a 2 kilo cartons. For the markets, they prefer size from 42 to 48 counts in a 2 kilo boxes. And this is again all year round demand.
Okay, so we have okra that we can sell all year round. We have passion. What was it, purple or yellow passion, Mr. Lakan? Purple or yellow?
Passion fruit is all year round. If the quality, packaging, and the price is workable, it's all year round business.
Is it purple or yellow variety?
No, the purple passion fruit.
It's purple.
Yes.
Okay, and I can read from the chat. There is someone asking if red cabbage is also something that we can export to UK.
Red cabbage.
Yes.
No, red cabbage, they grow here in UK. We don't, they have in UK, in Holland, in Belgium, all comes by truck. You cannot bring it by air. No, not red cabbage.
Okay, thank you. So Leon Bilini, the answer is red cabbage is a no-go zone for the UK market.
No, no go.
Good. Yes. So
stuff like tomatoes and all these things, basically, it's all either local here in UK, grown in the greenhouses, or we have out of Europe, Spain, Netherlands, Belgium, which all comes by truck. So that product, we cannot bring anything by air.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lakan. So okra. So do you have a specific variety that you can mention here? Because I think in Tanzania, any okra can grow. But I know UK market, you have a specific variety that is highly demanded there.
Yeah, this variety is the one which is what they call the Indian okra, okay?
Indian okra.
Yeah, this variety is called Pusa Savani. Pusa Savani. That is the variety of the name of the seeds, if you ask for.
What about butternuts, bananas?
With butternut, with butternut, due to the logistic, it won't be workable to bring all that way from Tanzania.
Yes. Secretary, make the question. Spices and herbs. Okay, so I'm just trying to follow questions from the participants and advance them to you. And I want my team to be very fast in following the charts. And you can pick the questions so that okay, plantain and ginger. So do we have a room for plantain and ginger?
Plantain, normally that all comes from South America, basically, from Costa Rica and Ecuador.
Right.
Yeah. So.
And can you take a little bit, Mr. Lakani?
If the price and quality from Tanzania is good on the plantains, I'm sure there is a room in UK for plantains by sea container.
Okay, so I am reading to you, Mr. Lakani, some value chains that participants are asking. One is cocoa. Do we have cocoa space in the UK market? And what about sea moss, pumpkin seed, beetroots and butternut and bananas?
Yeah, no, we don't deal with that product. So I haven't got much knowledge on that side.
Very good. And spices, can you talk a little bit about spices? Because Tanzania, when you talk of Zanzibar, Tanga, Morogoro, we are actually like the major producer of spices. Okay. So, and we have quite a number of participants, I can see them here, who are actually in the processing of spices. And we have started actually exporting our spices to the US and of course to the other African market. So do you see any space for us in the UK and EU market? Are we going to be competitive?
Because I've never dealt in spices before, but obviously I will do a little bit more research and obviously try and help and see what the other importers do say about this, because we don't specialize in spices at all.
Wonderful. So there is a question from Ayas Ramadan. Can you read that for me, please? Ayas Ramadan. Can you read that? Please, you don't have internet? Oh. Ayas Ramadan, he's talking about the challenges, the export challenges.
He wants to understand the exportation process and challenges regarding fresh produce from Tanzania.
So actually, there's the question from from someone asking about exportation process and challenges regarding. I think we will have Petronilla coming after Mr. Lakani to talk about the process and the procedure and the requirements.
Exactly. Petrolina will be good because she knows exactly what requirements we need in terms of technical. She's very good at it. She knows everything and she'll be able to guide you in the right way on that.
Who is that? Sorry?
Petrolina.
Wonderful. So we have Petronilla and she will be, she's here already?
I think she has joined already.
Okay. Madam Petronilla, are you online? Yes, there she is. Very good. So Petronilla will actually lead us through the requirements. And if you have any question, dear participants, you will ask her. So there is another question to you, Mr. Lakani.
Yes.
On what is it? Civil brand African. Okay. What about Fuerte? Because you mentioned hash. So there is someone asking if Fuerte is something that of interest to the UK market.
It's not maybe for the wholesale market it could move, but it will not fetch high price like the hash variety.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So hash variety is the one that is, you know.
Yes.
On the front of the ship. And jackfruit, what about jackfruit? I can read someone is asking about pineapples and jackfruit. I know you're importing a lot of pineapples from Latin America and and Ghana, but then do you see any space for Tanzania?
See, this all comes by the shiploads into Europe and into UK and Costa Rica and Panama, all these places. They ship it in shiploads, basically. So it will be quite challenging to compete. I'll be honest. It will be difficult, quite difficult to compete in terms of prices because you got, high shipping costs plus the port. You have to use Mombasa port, so inland trucking costs. So I don't think it will be feasible to work pineapples from Tanzania.
Right. Very good. If someone ever has a question, please you can raise up your hand and we can actually let you speak. If you have any question to Mr. Lakani, just feel free to show up your hand and we can actually allow you to speak. Yes, Clement Manyata, please, Rev Clement Manyata, karibu.
Yes, Russo.
Okay, technology is problem. Thank you, Mr. Mukesh, for sharing your experience. We are so happy that you were able to share with us. And when I was in UK, listened by help of TAR, we found a lot of yam and sweet potatoes. That was from Uganda. You didn't talk more about this. Can you tell us about this? Because we have a lot of sweet potato and yam from Tanzania, which we can export to market there. And what is your requirements? That is one. Then another thing, I think one of in a chat they asked about documentation. This is a major challenge sometimes we are facing that in different areas UK, it seems like they have different requirement on documentation. Since UK is separate from European Union, so they have their own policy, and sometimes they will never tell you the changes. They never even give you the formality. How can you help in that part, maybe?
Well, for the documents, I think Petrolina will be able to help you more because she is quite aware of what we need in UK. She'll be able to help you more on that side. On the sweet potatoes, yes, the demand is there, but I won't say there's a huge demand. Maybe 4 or 5 tons a week, yes. So something like that we can obviously sell. If you have the good quality, good packaging, if price is reasonable, yes, sweet potatoes, we can do some sweet potatoes.
Yeah, maybe the quick last question. I know after this, maybe this meeting will be end, and I don't know if we'll have your contact or through TAR or whatever, and how we can. I can say the way forward. What will be the way forward before you leave? Then, unless if TAR will be helpful.
If you want to connect with him, we can give you his contact details. So anyone wanting to connect directly with Mr. Mukesh, please connect with Taha and we can give you the contacts.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Rev Manyata, for your question. Mr. Mukesh, sweet potato, is it orange flesh? Which variety is that?
The one that comes, the orange flesh is all what we call grown in Europe, basically, mainly. Lot comes from South America as well. Little bit comes from South Africa as well. Portugal, all these places. But the one with the red skin and white flesh, if you have good quality on that, yes, we can use some of those. And the white skin with white flesh inside, we can use that as well.
Very good. Thank you very much. So we have another question from Ms. Abu Fatma. Abu, please, if you can chip in, Karibu. You can unmute. Please unmute and start talking. We can't hear you. Okay. So Abu is still working on the technology. Let's have Wisungo. Wisungo, if you can unmute and advance your question.
I can talk now. Can I talk?
Oh, please. Karibu.
Hi, Asante San. Mr. Mukesh, thank you very much for spending your time with us. My question is, I've been trying to find market for a fresh ginger. My issue is to send, because everywhere you go, they're asking you for sample. Now, sending a sample is like 2 kilos or 3 kilos. Now, I've been trying to send this, and this is, I've not been successful because most of the freights, they're asking for more than 5 kg. So how do we overcome this? Is there any way that you can just send photos, or it has to be an actual product?
Well, with the ginger, basically, for UK market, basically, number one, Petrolina will explain you more details about the technical side. But if you have the big chunks, when I say big chunks, each chunk weighing over 200 grams, like the ones there from China, between 200 and 400 gram chunks, if you have that ones with less fiber inside, yes, there is room for ginger in UK market.
200 gram, okay. All right, that's it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Dear participants, maybe we can allow Ms. Petronila to actually present his topic now, and then we continue with the questions and answers session, because probably there are questions that you're asking now, and maybe Petronila would have addressed them in her presentation. So, Madam Petronila, if you are ready, please, you're welcome for your presentation as we thank you, Mr. Mukesh, and please, we'll get back to you. I'm sure there'll be a lot of questions thereafter and will help us address them.
Thank you.
Good. Petronila, karibu.
Asante sana, nashukuru. Najaribu kuweka slides. Si kama nimeomba share. I've sent my request to share. Okay. Yeah. Can you see my document?
No. Yes. You can
Okay.
see it now.
Okay, so I need to quickly introduce myself. I think I've already been introduced, so I don't need to say much. Oh gosh, just bear with me a second. Vitu vya kizungu, the technicalities. Okay. Where's my document? I can't see myself. Can you see my document?
I'm seeing your email. You are seeing your inbox.
Okay. Can you see my document now?
Yes.
Okay. So let me go to the view. Okay. View. Slideshow. Okay, can you see me?
Yes.
Okay.
But put it on the presentation mode. It's not on presentation mode.
Oh God. Vya kizungu is the presentation mode. Current slide. Custom slide. Setup slide mode. Okay, view. Slide master. Slideshow.
Yeah.
Okay. Does it make sense? Can you
No,
see me
yeah.
now? Does it come through to your end?
No. No.
It's, oh, I don't know what has gone wrong. Amuoni upande wenu?
You can stop sharing and reshare it.
Okay, stop sharing and come back again. Okay. Share. Okay. Where am I? Tanzania imports. Okay, this one here. Okay, go to slideshow. Can you see it now?
Yes, we can see it. Now go to the presentation, to the slides mode.
Slide mode.
Slideshow, maybe you can tick slideshow there?
Slideshow iwezi.
Iko kwenye slideshow. Au.
Peleka kule chini kabisa.
Petronila, kama unaweza kwenda chini kabisa kule kwenye Zoom, kwenye
Sikiliza.
zile zanaweza Zoom pale chini.
Okay. Okay.
Kwenye kuna kibutton fulani pale kinaonyesha kama nani, ukakliki chini kabisa kule. Kwenye 33, karibia na 33, nyuma ya 33.
33, where is this 33?
Chini kabisa kwenye ndani yako. Kwenye ile baya chini kabisa kule.
Chini kabisa upande wa kulia.
Okay, let me just have a look. Okay. Oh my gosh, this is embarrassing. Okay, can I stop sharing and then do that again?
No, jaribu kushuka chini kwanza hadi pale nani afuka click.
Hapa. Zoom user, display, okay.
Kwenye ile baya chini ambayo inaonyesha slide 1 of 17. Ukienda kule mwishoni upande wako wa kulia. Chini kabisa.
Can I share my slides with you guys and then you can post me? Or is that okay? Would that be quicker? Because I can't see it.
Unaona pale walipoandika 33%? Unaona mwisho kabisa ya nani yako kuna mahali upande wa kulia wameandika 33%?
Gotcha. 33%.
Chini kabisa.
Kwenye volume.
Kasi?
Kwenye volume kuna kikombe.
Okay.
Zoom. Okay, 33%. I can't see anything.
At
the bottom right, Petronella, the bottom right, and there's a screen. So there's a yeah. Go a bit more to the right.
33%. Okay. So what do you want me to do?
Na kikombe hapo, hicho kitu kama kikombe, click it.
hichi kikombe.
Yes.
Yes, click it.
Nimeclick. Mnaona saizi?
Haya.
Can you see now?
Not.
Hello?
Can you see? Oh, not yet.
Naomba ushare na sisi hiyo document tukusaidie kupresent.
Yeah,
And then-
please. Yeah, please. I can share with you. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. Here we are.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, dear participants, as we proceed with, we are letting Petronilla share with us the presentation. We kindly ask you to register your names through the link that I've provided in the chat box. Please register your details so that we can share some of the documents and the recordings for this meeting. Thank you.
So your phone number and email, please.
Okay.
Tonda, you can just proceed, please.
Okay, can you see the way how it is made? Mnaona slides kama zilivyo hapa?
Yeah, just proceed as they are.
Okay, asante sana. Okay, kwa hiyo kwa kifupi naitwa Petronilla, nafanya kazi serikali ya Uingereza na kama Senior Environmental Health Officer. Kwa kuanzia labda nitaka niongelee kuhusu sheria za toka UK ilivyoondoka EU. So historia kifupi ni kwamba mnaona slides. Can you see?
Kuna mtu ako Kenya.
Can you see it? Niendelee au I'm warning slides?
We cannot see your slides. Petronilla,
Okay.
your slides are very small. Probably you have to increase the, what is it? The font size. Nenda pale mwisho kabisa. Yes. Ongeza. Okay.
Language.
Lakini nafikiri umeongeza sana sasa mpaka umepotea tena.
Teknolojia zazo.
Punguza kidogo. No. Yes, better. And then please, if you can use English, because I think we have participants who are actually coming outside of Tanzania and they want to follow this.
Okay. So, kwa hiyo, can you see now?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to be very quick because I've got only 20 minutes, as you said. So I'll be quick in my slides. As you know, I work with the local government in UK, and over 20 years I've worked in the field of enforcement. So I'm here to present about the imports regulations and the requirement for food from Tanzania. To start about, I will just give you a quick overview since post Brexit. So as you know, UK was part of European Community. We left European Community at the end of 2020 December, and all the legislation post Brexit is now under control of UK. So the food, plant, and animal regulations have been taken over with the UK government, whilst previously was under EU. So as environmental health officers, we enforced both. Previously, when we were in EU, as part of EU, we enforced European Community regulations. And as well as now we are in post-Brexit, we are enforcing UK regulations. Despite all this, the UK government and the SPS office in the government office, department in DEFRA, they have maintained the standards based on World Trade Organization. So the sanitary and phytosanitary measures and also international standards have been maintained in order to protect UK biosecurity. And how has this been done? I mean, anything that comes in the country, whether it's product of animal origin or food, none of animal origin, it has to be risk-based. So they use a risk-based approach. I will explain in detail as we go along. What's the regulation in EU when we left the EU community was similar to that of UK. However, as the time goes, the changes are being updated in each part and in both parts, in the UK and the European community. For instance, previously you may be exporting to Europe. So you would have used the traces to report or to notify the Board of Control Posts. But at the moment, we are using IPAFs to record to notify us in the UK. So before we were using, all of us were using Traces system, but now we are using IPAF system. The legislation were similar before, but now we have departed and they are keeping updates of theirs, and ours are being updated. And the best place to find information of current information before you do anything or import anything into European community is from the government website. DEFRA have got very good information, and they publish more regularly any current changes in standards, regulations, the same as food standard agents. And there are some local authorities where import sections are is situated, for instance, Hillingdon or Dover or Ashford, for instance. You can ask for information on the imports. So you are welcome to do that in the local authorities as well. They can signpost you to the relevant legislation or signpost you to AFA or DEFRA. So it's very important to know that. So before you bring any food or export your goods from Tanzania, what do you need to understand? First of all, you need to understand the commodity for import and its requirement. Let's say you want to bring avocado or plant-based products. The first thing is to understand what are the requirements are. Remember, I said we have retained we have maintained the standards based on WTO standards, and also based on the international standards and principles. So what I can say is the requirement is risk-based. I'm going to explain a little bit on how it has been risk-based, and it has a specific requirement. So if you have a commodity, let's say you want to bring some commodities unregulated because they are lower risk. There are some commodities which are regulated, which I will touch base slowly in the next slide. And so it's very crucial to understand. I have a parachich, what are the regulations? I have asali or honey to export to UK. What do I need to understand? And another thing is, the second thing is you need to understand the process and current UK situation post Europe exit. For instance, if you want to supply anything United Kingdom and you're gonna, you have to use airline which goes through European community. Or remember, it will be European, it will be the product will go first in European community. It will have to comply with the European community regulations first. And then if it has to come here, it means that those goods will be counted as if it's coming from European community. Kwa hiyo itakuwa kama triangular, to be like triangular. But if you have to export directly from Tanzania all the way to Europe, then those products, it means they will come and the first Board of Control Post, they will be the one to enforce. So you won't encounter double checks from any other bodies, not in Europe. It will just be in UK Board of Control Post. So you need to understand these processes before you decide to import anything. And another thing is, once you need to, as I said, you need to keep up to date with the information in the government websites. The best place to look for information, there's guidelines on how to import goods in the UK Gov website. DEFRA keep on updating all the relevant changes, all the bit nit and grit that you need to know in terms of legislations, documentation. AFA are very good at that. Is Animal and Plant Health Authority is very good on that. Food standard agents, they've got imported. They even put a lot of information on the restricted products, which or commodities that you cannot, product that you can import, or if the country has been given restrictions. So you can know which product that you are importing, if it's under restriction or under which category, either in DEFRA, or if you want to export, let's say, a product of one more origin, let's say asali or any trophies. So DEFRA can give very good information on that. And before you export, make sure you work with your exporter very closely, because the exporters here, they work with agents who receives the goods or who will be clearing your goods at the port. So they will get all the information, and they may advise you in the proper, in the current regulations that have been updated. I remember hearing someone asking about the challenges they're facing regarding the changes of information. this is where I can signpost you. And at the end of these slides, I have appendix, which will have numbers and contact details where you can get the information. Okay, and in case of you want to bring fruits and veg in UK, whether it's potato, it's ginger, it's anything, make sure you have relevant information of the content you're bringing. So everything has to match. You have to have right paperwork, proper analytical testing, and the labeling. We have different pieces of legislation that applies. I will talk to on that when I get to that slides. And also, you need to identify, I mean, it's the best way to label. Let's say you are bringing potato. If you can't label, if you don't know the name, use botanical names, which if you look on IUCN website, you can get the common nomenclature of or the original names, scientific names in there, which will be easier and to fastens up on the clearance process of the consignment. Also, make sure all the information of the product you are bringing to UK, the documentation you are completing, they match and marry each other on your packing list, on your invoice, on the airway bill. It has to match with the name and the consignee, consigner. It has to match in order to avoid any irrelevant hold up on the clearance at the border of control post. So what do we need? I remember Mr. Lakani has just mentioned mentioned about quality, packaging, and price. He said that there is two major things I can tell you. One is quality of the product. Second is labeling requirement. And why do I say labeling and quality? Quality, we have legislation EC 1780/2001 under Article 14, which says the food that is supposed to be placed in the market here in UK, it has to be of the quality of nature and substance as it has been described on the contents. So that you have to make sure you comply with that. And also the traceability. Under the same legislation, we have traceability under Section 18, which you need to comply with. So hence, when you are importing anything, make sure the quality of substance is very crucial. I will explain a little bit how does this work on the other end, on the bit of, on this slide. And also labeling. Labeling is very important parameter in terms of importing your goods. We have regulations that guide us on the labeling, like EC 1169/2011 regulations, which is amended because of Natasha Law. And also we have Food Information Regulation 2014, which they're all available from government website of FSA. It can guide you through on how to label the products. Anyway, and in terms of the market standards of the products, this does not just guide the producer. This is throughout the food chain, from the grower, from the transporter, from the wholesaler, from the retailer. All of us all the food chain supply needs to comply. We have special marketing standards, which specify about 10 products, and it specifies on how to grade. And there is like 3 different categories that you can label, like extra crust, class 1, class B. These are parameters depending on the quality of that product, according to how it was produced, or this according to the appearance of that, or the shape of the product. Hence, when the buyers from this end, they give you criteria of their product, they may touch base. Let's say they want the grapes, that will fall under special marketing standards. And also we have GMC standards, which is generic marketing standards. This is talking about how the quality is product. It's like it applies to most fruits and veg, and making sure the product is in sound, is clean, is free from pest damage, even the pest which can invade. Let's say you are bringing habanero, ensure that there's not any, let's say there's a species of beetle which goes inside, is called Hematobia species. So all those, it is completely out. You have to ensure that is controlled. So hence we have quality checks. So all these are part of risk-based to ensure we safeguard consumer health and their well-being, and it all goes back to biosecurity of the government entity. Okay, so okay, so how is the risk based? Yeah, so how is risk based? So the risk, the plant, any plants or anything, any plant products or a plant originating from country which is not, or a third country of import we call, or not EU, basically they risk assess and they categorize them in 4 different categories. There's high risk, medium risk A, medium risk B, and low risk. So the ones which are high risk and medium risk A, those ones, basically they will need, even medium risk B, those they will need phytosanitary certificate, obviously. They will need to be controlled. There is the extra regulations they will need. So hence, we will ask of health certificates or phytosanitary certificates to accompany it. However, and also pre-notify the Board of Control Post. However, the B section, the medium risk B, you don't need to pre-notify, but you need the phytosanitary risk. The way how the categories are done is done by a module called BTOM, which is done by the Board of Control Posts. The DEFLA deals with this, or Board of Control Posts deals with this, and also FSA works on that as well. And you can see the risk. That's why I said you need to ensure you check the information before you send your product here, then to know which category you need. However, your exporter, the person who is importing from Tanzania to Europe, will tell you which documents they need. So what does it mean? For instance, let's say you are bringing high risk medium product or high risk products. They may need CHED-P or CHED-P. CHED-PP, it means, meaning the categories are different. If it's normal fruits and veg, which is in lower category, you bring without no plant health certificate, you don't need that, is exempt. And I'll show you which kind of fruits are that. For instance, we have unregulated or low risk goods that you can bring without phytosanitary certificates, like kiwi, pineapples, coconut, guava, passion fruits, kumquat, durian fruits. All these don't need any kind of phytosanitary certificate. If you're going to bring avocado, for instance, they'll tell you to bring phytosanitary certificate, or if you're bringing other products, they will need phytosanitary certificate. That said, it doesn't mean that that should deter you from bringing any product. So let's say you're bringing in products from Tanzania. You have got the right documents, and you want to, right document to the to bring the product from Tanzania. What does it inquire you to? What happens to your product when it gets to Board of Control Post? So when the product comes to Board of Control Post, there are major 3 things that are being done. First, the documentation. Remember, when the boat leaves in Tanzania, you need to pre-notify if the product are falling in category B, category A, category B, category highest risk or medium risk category A, you need to pre-notify. Or if it's a highest risk, like product of one more region, you need to notify the Board of Control Post within 24 hours of you leaving, of the product leaving the country. And also, the shipping lines will produce a manifest which will go straight to the Board of Control Post. And during after receipt of that document, they will check which consignment are we expecting. They'll check the details on the documents. So they'll check the invoices, commercial documents like invoices, packing list, bill of lading if you have got one, if you have brought by boat. And also if there's an analytical test, then they check that. And also they'll check which boat is coming, in which, let's say, container number, seal number. All those are being checked in order to ensure the products that is said is in that number of container matches the documents that has been presented. And another thing which after checking the documents, we make sure for product of one more region, the things that we check because it's product of one more region, for instance, honey, meat of product resulting from meat, germinal products, all those requires about 100% checks on their documentation. And for products of one more region, when you are sending, obviously Tanzania is approved to bring certain product of one more region. So we check approval of that, the country. Is it approved? Yes, Tanzania is already approved. And then, so you're gonna have a mark of the country of origin on that, hence you write produce from Tanzania, and then it will have a mark of approval of the country. And also there will be approval code of establishment, which shows that the establishment can sell these products to any country to any establishment in the United Kingdom, because it complied with the standards under EC 853/2004 on manufacturing side. And also, we will need CHEDP. CHEDP is a document which is required for product of animal region. So we will check, we will assess on that. We'll need health certificates or vet certificates to ensure that the product is safe to enter into the country. And then in terms of CHEDP, the exporter only fills the first part of the document. The second part will be completed by us after knowing that you have done everything which is relevant, as completed the consignor, the consignee, the product, the weight, the gross weight, the net weight, the product description, and then that's where, and clearance, everything is done properly, then we will sign the health certificate. We'll write the CHED, part B of CHED. And also we will check on health certificates if it's properly signed, and also other accompanying documents like commercial invoice, bill of lading, airway bill, if it has come with the air, and packing list. Whilst on the other hand, as I said, because food, when they come here, it comes into, is a risk-based. So the high food, which is high risk food of none of one more region, is plant-based, but it's high risk. Let's say you brought habanero the first time, and then it enters into high risk because it came with some fruit flies. Like Mzee was saying about fruit fly, maybe it has been entered into high risk. So you will need phytosanitary certificate, you will need properly signed CHED D. In terms of high risk, it will be CHED D. And also, CHED PP. And also you need properly signed health certificate. And also possibly, if there's any sampling done in Tanzania to say these, though they were in this category, it has been checked and sampled, there's no any pesticide residue, there's no any pest residues in here, then you will accompany that. So these are the documents that you will need when you bring the products plus commercial documents. So when we have received the document, we have checked it, we come now to verify by verifying, okay, we check the seal if it is still intact on the container. Yeah, and then we check if it's still, then we break the seal. Then we come to verify what you said in the document. Does it match with the content of what you have exported? You said you have 200 boxes of avocado. They come from Tanzania. Let's say Serengeti Fresh. Okay, so we check if it matches, is exactly what the content is. Another thing, if you see on this slide, you can see the mark on the meat. That mark is called approval number. Though this is a UK, so for Tanzania it will be different. This is for UK. The meat, you can see it has got a stamp, which means this is not just in vain. This is approval number of the that this product comes from United Kingdom. So if the establishment has been approved, then you will have the same, and also the it will have the same approval number to show that the products like fish or honey is approved from the country of Tanzania. So, and the established number, you'll have the mark as well, approval number. Also, plus we see, and because we have already checked the document, we have verified. Now the last thing we check is the physical checks. This is where we use our organoleptic characteristics, we use our scientific checks, we use documentation and the graduated approach. So there are some percentage of consignment that we check, and we choose random. It's not all the consignment, and it's not everything. So the physical checks that we check on this, is we'll check the physical checks, for instance, which transport. Let's say you went to Surf Marine or Maersk Sealand. They've given a container starting with MSKU 1010. So we see, is it MSKU 1010? It came by air, or meaning by boat, and the transport, if it was frozen, it was reefer container. Is the content, if you say it's a fisheries, does the fish come frozen to closer to that, to the temperature of frozen ice? Because there are pieces of legislations that marks us, guides us through. And also we check them if it came by boat or by van, how, by lorry, how is it, the temperature cold chain, has it been maintained? Packaging is very crucial. Labeling is very crucial. That's where we check the health mark, temperature. We sample the product based on what we have found. Let's say you have brought nuts. We can say, okay, we need to check for aflatoxins or any contaminants. Or if you have brought fish, or you have brought some avocados. So we check on pesticide residues, for instance. Or if you have brought honey, we can check on sugar or any added sugar or any kind of contaminants. So this is the point where different regulations apply, and different tests that we do based on graduated approach. They can choose, pick and choose and have a look. Let's say common types of analytical tests that are used. Let's say nuts. As I said, you can take aflatoxins. Chilies, let's say habaneros. Habaneros, recently they are looking like in EU have updated their Tematobia, the species which goes through when the flower is crossing to form a fruit. There is a species called Tematobia species which goes inside. So to avoid any kind of pests entering into European community or here in UK, also we have the same legislation which was implemented back 3-4 years ago about the habaneros. And again, this phytosanitary certificate was updated to our East African countries. So that said, this is done by checking. This is the press where we check all these analytical tests different. Let's say fish, we check on dioxins or histamines to avoid any scrambotoxins or any diseases. And also we check on honey if there's any added sugar, authenticity of honey. We have different regulations which guides us through, like honey legislation 2015, and also other regulations that guides us through, like Food Safety Act 1990, etc., etc. Okay, so now to conclude, let me see. So let's say, what if the goods you have brought in the country hasn't complied with the standards? So we have 3 or 4 things that we can do, but we liaise everything throughout the process. We liaise with the importer. So the importer in this country, the one who has imported the goods, will be informed that you are, after analytical test of pesticide, let's say, your product has failed. So we can redispatch to the country as if we can export. So if you say you agree on that, then we're going to prepare export certificates for you and at your cost. And if you say, oh, but it's perishable goods, I would prefer to be destroyed, it will be under your cost as well. So it will be destroyed. And another thing, it can be degraded. Let's say you have brought nuts, you can degrade to animal feed, and that is done by the other. Every time we have to liaise with you, so you will be notified. And if there is an appeal, then that is done in the magistrate court, and the importer will always be liable for any cost. But normally these are done is the last resort, and normally people are very compliant. They do retest, or they do it's very rare. For Tanzania, I checked on the high risk. We haven't got anything which is in any high risk. So we are allowed to bring anything from Tanzania. We don't have anything to check because the consignment that come from Tanzania are very low. So we have got very few consignment to check. Okay, and so this is an example of CHEDP. So the first part 1, that's where you complete it. And then the second part is completed by us when we receive the document. And then information, you can get the information of product of animal origin, for instance, OPOAs. This, if you want to register, you can find the information in these departments of the government. And yeah, other contact details for the government information that you can get some help. I've put it here, and feel free, like to DEFLA, they can give you some more information. And also, yeah, for SPS, for high risk, to know the commodity, the risk of your commodity, you can contact the UK SPS at Secretary DEFLA as well, DEFLA department. They'll be able to guide you through on that. Yeah, so that's me done. But all that said, what I can say, if you want to bring the goods in Tanzania, but in conclusion, make sure you have right
Right. So I think there is a technical, I think there is a technical problem, and we have lost Petronilla, but I hope she will come back. And yeah, so let's hope she'll come back. So if you have any question, if you need to say something with regard to export regulations, export procedure to the UK EU market, you can ask, because we still have Mr. Mukesh with us, but also we have experts here from Taha with knowledge and understanding of exporting to the international market. So, karibu sana. But one of the things, as we wait for Petronilla, that I wanted us to inform you is on the documentation. You have heard Petronilla talking about the importance of documentation, having the right documents before you actually move your consignment from Tanzania to the market. So for those of you who don't know that we do have a logistic company that is handling perishables from Tanzania to any destined market. Please have that understanding and knowledge. And through Taha Fresh, this is our logistic commercial wing. We can actually, and we do handle the part of documentation, the side of documentation from exporters. So you don't need to actually hassle with the regulators on the kind of documents that you are supposed to fill in and submit to the authorities in the UK or Holland or wherever. So if we are actually your agent, we would actually take care of the documentation side and leave you with the core business of putting together the right card. Oh, Petronilla is back. So you were completing your presentation and you went off. So karibu tena.
Asante sana. Kwa hiyo nilikuwa nasema, okay, oh, sorry, I was speaking Swahili. Yeah, so to wind up, what I was saying is, when you want to bring goods in UK, first of all, understand your commodity. Contact the FSA, contact the DEFLA. They will be able to give you advice and signpost you to the right requirements in terms of what you need, the right documentation. Let's say phytosanitary certificate or health certificates, because they will know which risk is the product you're bringing in, and they will give you the right information to deal with. The second thing is to ensure that you understand the logistics in terms of the document. If you have to send the goods via Europe, you know that you will have to encounter the enforcement side from that end. And then if you are sending to UK and then is passing via Europe on transit to UK, then you have to understand that the goods from Europe will come here as exported as produce from Europe. It will be exported from Europe. So you will have enforcement in Europe, you will have enforcement in Tanzania, in UK. So you have to ensure that you understand both the regulations post-Brexit, because now we are independent. And the maximum residue levels on the other end may not be the same on this end, because they're updating their regulations, we are updating our regulations. So we were similar, but now we are going a little bit slightly apart. But that said, CBI or Eurex or FSA, EFSA in European Food Safety Agency Authority, they will be able to give you advice on that. Once here we have DEFLA, Food Standard Agency, Board of Control Post, even local authorities where the import section department is based, like for instance, Hillingdon is closer to Heathrow Airport, that can give you all the nitty-gritty regarding the legislations required. And in terms of, so when your goods is coming from Tanzania, make sure, do not fear. I'm talking about the quality and the labeling. Yes, quality is very crucial. Labeling is very crucial. You are more than welcome to email the food safety. All this information, I'll send it to Taha. You contact the DEFLA, contact the plant health, animal and plant health. They're there to help. Every department is there to help. And what I can say is make sure you understand the requirement in the UK. And labeling, it's okay. At the point of in Board of Control Posts, they just check the approval, country approved. But if there's any regulations, let's say allergen or health claims or nutritional claims that will be posted when the goods leave the Board of Control Post to go to the inland, then environmental health officers like ourselves on the inland, we will take part, we'll continue with the process. So, and another thing is what you need to know is you have to have right documentation, match every document with the relevant content. If you say, I'm bringing Musa species or banana from Tanzania, make sure you know the quantity. Writing the scientific name is easier to identify. Make sure you write the quantity, weight, gross, who is consignor, consignee, the container number, if there's any approval in any documentation. If it's a high risk, make sure you have phytosanitary certificates or health certificates. Make sure you have everything that you need to do, and don't worry, because God hasn't given us the spirit of fear. I can see we have so much fear when we hear labeling, regulations. We have power, and this is where we need to stand, and you have to understand that. By understanding regulation, it makes the process easier to bring the product over here. We enforce a lot of produce from all over the countries in the world, but Tanzania, we have very few. And this is the time the gate has been opened. We have very strong leadership and initiative from Taha and the High Commissioner, which have opened up a gate of the goods from the Tanzania to enter into the European market. We have a wonderful leadership in departments of international trade, in Department of DEFLA, FSA, who are willing to give help and give information to you. So don't fear, we are not here. So it's not every product that comes in every consignment that comes from Tanzania will be condemned or will be dumped or dispatched. No, it never happens like that unless you haven't complied with phytosanitary issues, and it can be intercepted. Remember, you have a UK NPPO, NPPO, DEFLA, NPPO can advise, there's contract I've given in there. And then also, Tanzania, they can inform before even the goods leaves Tanzania to come at this end. They can intercept and give you the correct advice for the product to enter here. So we stand a bigger chance to enter into the market as long as we remove fear. We know that this is the time. And thank you very much. I don't have to say much. I think I will welcome so many questions. I know I have many questions. I welcome that. And asanteni sana. Nashukuru. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you very much, Petronilla. Thank you for the powerful presentation, and I think you have opened the eyes of many on what is required of us when it comes to exporting to the UK, but also to the EU market. So, okay, so I would like to open the floor for those with questions. Now you have heard Petronilla, but also you remember the guidance we received from Mr. Lakani. So the floor is yours, dear participants. If you have any comment, any question, if you need any clarification from the two presentations, feel free to ask by a raise up of your hand, and we will prioritize you. Okay, but I was talking about documentation. Don't worry too much about how am I going to fill in the forms? How am I going to comply with this and that? We at Taha, we are very well organized, actually facilitate and help you with the documentation through our arm, Taha Fresh Handling Limited. So if you're using our service as your agents to move your cargo from wherever you are to wherever market in the world, we would actually help you with the documentation and make sure that, you know, there is alignment between our NPPO and the country of the port of entry NPPO. So that one is solved. Petronilla also mentioned something about the standards and what's not. So you don't need to worry too much about, you know, how am I going to comply with the global gap? How am I going to comply with this and that private standard? We are also very organized internally as Taha. We have GreenSet as your company, the industry vehicle that would facilitate you to acquire whatever certification or accreditation that is needed by your partner or your market. So I just wanted to drive that agenda so that, you know, you don't feel like it's too cumbersome to access whatever market that you want to get your produce to. So karibuni sana. If you have any question. Mm-hmm. Okay, again, karibu Ms. Rev Manyata.
Petronilla, thank you very much for sharing. Just my quick question. You was talking about your physical checking, and you were saying it's like a percentage, but you didn't go details. Can you just give us an idea, like what percentage for the product from Tanzania will be checking for the physical?
Yeah. So it's not all the. Remember, the products that come in, they are risk-based. So there is some raw risk which are unregulated. Let's say you bring nanasis, or mananasi, or you bring passion fruits. Those are not being checked. They're not regulated. Those are low risk. Okay, like the one I mentioned. So. But when you bring products, let's say you brought habaneros, these are high-risk products, for instance. Let's say you brought beef first time, it failed. The second time it entered into high-risk, let's say high-risk category A. Obviously, they will check this. All the documentation, they will check 100% if they are matching, okay? And then they will choose random boxes. They don't take every box. If you have wrote, let's say, 1,000 tons, let's say all the 1,000 tons they take out, no. They will choose randomly, random boxes. Let's say they'll take 5 boxes, or let's say 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes. Then they'll say, okay, I'm gonna go and check for many contaminants or pesticide residues, okay? And this is not for every product. Every product, that's why I say, before you bring in a product in UK, know which risk category it is. And this information are really available in FSA website. When you click, I'll put the link there on the underneath. And also the percentage, it varies based on the risk. Tanzania, we don't have any risk. It will come, they will choose even maybe 1 box or 2 boxes or 2%. They will check and they'll say, okay, everything is fine. So there is no, and then there's guidance in terms of risk under EU 1793. 2019 /1793 on how to risk assess. So that's our regulations that risk assess or categorize our commodities. So that's what I can say. I don't know if I've answered your question.
Okay, another quick question. You was talking about the documentation that maybe we can go to the appendix and and see what it's saying.
Mhm.
But in the other European
Okay.
countries,
Mm.
they have once they do any changes, at least they're giving you some formality how to write it. Because I'm one of the victim of documentation, so I know this is not. But once you ask them, maybe can you just give me some idea how do I write it? They will never tell you. They'll tell you you just go back and checking and checking. So in the other country like Netherlands and other European countries, once they change, they give you some formality that you just follow this formality, and they're saving time because the appendix you're talking is a lot of documents, so you need a lot of times. And unfortunately, even sometimes our government officials they don't know how to go. Yes, it's a
Yeah,
shame.
what I can, that's a very good question. I think that question is very good to send to DEFLA or AFA, because they are the ones who deals with this. But what I can say to you, you have got Taha, who can help you to complete the forms in Tanzania. But if you don't want to go through Taha, then you are more than welcome to email. There is contact details at the bottom on AFA, DEFLA, FSA, who can help. They are very willing, and they even telephone numbers. They are very fast. Once you email, 24 hours are too many. Within 2-3 hours, you receive the response. But I'm more than happy. You can email me, then I can forward. You can keep my number, and I can forward to the relevant department, post you to the relevant department. Take my number, and I'll be happy to help you to complete it.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Very much, Mr. Manyata, for your question. Now we are honored to have Balozi Mbelwa Kairuki, who have just joined us. Karibu sana Mheshimiwa Balozi. We are so very happy to have you with us. And so before we proceed with other questions, we will be very happy to hear from you, Mheshimiwa Balozi.
No, asante sana Dr. Mkindi. Mi nadhani tuache nafasi watu wazungumze, waulize maswali. I think it's more important hearing from experts walioko hapa. Mi nitazungumza baadaye tu. Sina maneno zaidi ya haya, majibu mazuri hawa wataalam. Ila niombe na nimeona umetoa angalizo watu waulize kwa Kiingereza, lakini kama kuna mtu anajisikia kuuliza kwa Kiswahili, wajiulize, kwa sababu uzuri hawa, bahati nzuri mzee Lakani Kiswahili anakijua, dada Petronella anakijua. At least tusiwazuie watu sana na Viingereza hivi mwisho wakakosa kuuliza maswali.
Asante sana Balozi, tunashukuru. Tuliambiwa kwamba kuna participant ambao ni nchi ya Tanzania, so tukawa tunaona tusiwanyime uhondo wa discussion hii. But thank you very much for your guidance na karibu sana. So Tanzanite Enterprise, please, you're welcome. Tanzanite.
Hello.
Yes.
Can you hear me? Thank you.
Yes,
my
we
name
can
is
hear.
Rachel. I'm from Arusha. I'm dealing with Kweme oyster nuts. This I was wondering, what are the logistics about these African indigenous crops or seeds that goes, because it doesn't have much of the international standard and the codes. Are the logistics the same with the same product that already have the standard available for the international markets? Because I was thinking maybe I can try to export them for the Africans who are there, and will likely maybe to buy from the African-based stores in UK or other European markets. And I was wondering, what are the procedures, logistics? Are they the same with the ones that have standard already, or what should they do in here and there at the UK markets?
Yeah. Right, thank you very much. And before you respond, we can take 2-3 questions. Just document them properly, Petronilla, and then when you respond, at least you sum them up, okay? So we go to Eusebiel. Eusebi, Michael, please, you can ask your question.
mute.
Eusebi? Oh, okay, he's not ready or she is not ready. All right, so Petronella, you can just respond to the Kweme question.
Yeah, Kweme ni, asante sana kwa swali zuri. Kweme ni zao la mmea. Kwa hiyo zao la mmea kama nilivyosema mwanzo, kila kitu kiko kwenye risk based. Kwa hiyo vitu vinavyotakiwa ni kwamba unahitaji ni tree nut, si ndio? Kweme ni tree nut, si ndio?
Yes, yes.
Tree nut, yeah. Kwa hiyo hapa ni vizuri sana kuongea na Defla, lakini nitajitahidi kujibu kwa kadri ninavyoelewa kwamba utahitaji kama utaweza kupata phytosanitary certificate, that's a very good question. Utahitaji certificate kama unayo. Hivi vitu vitakusaidia. Phytosanitary certificate and commercial documents ni very very important, kwa sababu itasaidia wewe unavyoleta mzigo. Commercial document ninavyosema ni kama ticket ya mzigo, kama airway bill. Nadhani unanielewa ninachoongea. Kwa sababu you asked me English, so I can speak in Swahili, I believe.
Yeah, understand, no problem.
Yeah, okay. Kwa hiyo unahitaji ticket ya mzigo kama airway bill kama unasafirisha kwa ndege, au bill of lading kama unasafirisha kwa meli. Pia utahitaji invoices and packing list. Hizi ndo commercial document. Plus kama una analytical certificate unaweza ukaweka pale, kwa sababu ni zao ambao ni niche product and is particularly for Tanzania. Na phytosanitary certificate. Kama kutakuwa na additional information that you need, then you can the contacts on this slide at the bottom of this slide, kuna contact za Defla na AFA who deals with the plant health. Now wana keep on up to date with every little species of varieties of a variety ya kila mmea ambao unapatikana. Kwa hiyo wao wakiangalia kwenye database zao wakiona huo mmea unaoitwa Kweme, then they'll be able to advise you if you need any necessary document apart from that. Mzee Lakani, up to your experience, is there anything you can add on that? It's a tree nut, basically. You're muted.
So basically nothing much to add on that. What you have said is all correct, you know. You've come to the point, so it's fine.
Okay, thank you very much. Asante sana Petronilla na Mukesh kwa majibu. Eusebi, bado upo? Mike. Okay, kuna mtu mwingine mwenye swali lingine? Okay, I will respond to one of the questions from one of the participants asking if TAHA assists in finding a market in the UK. And the answer is, oh yes, that is our core business. Because TAHA, we address three key strategic objectives. One, business enabling environment. Two, we drive and we support or build productive capacities. Driving technologies and innovations on the ground so that we can enhance production and productivity as we comply to good agriculture practices. And three, which is actually forms the core of our business, is facilitating access to market and investment promotion. And this is why we are coordinating these kind of platforms with our experts from the UK, but also our partner, the High Commission Tanzania in the UK, to actually give you opportunity to understand what is out there. But in addition to this kind of platforms where we exchange information, knowledge, and experience, we normally organize trade fairs, and we lead missions to international trade fairs. Every year, we are actually in Berlin for the Fruit Logistica. This is the biggest fruit and vegetable exhibition in the world. And we are there as Tanzania to showcase what we have as we connect with the global market. And let me actually announce it to all of you. Probably you have not, we've not gotten this information, but you can hear from me now. We've actually opened up a window already. We have announced it to the industry stakeholders to actually register with us. If you are interested to join the Tanzania delegation to Berlin next year from tarehe 5 to tarehe 7 mwezi wa pili 2025, tafadhali, if you have not registered and you are interested, the door is still open. Register now and we will be with you. So that's one of the international exhibitions that we go to, but we are also in Italy for the MacFruit every year. We have started going to Singapore, is this? Hong Kong, as we target the Asia market. So yes, to answer your question, yes, we do a lot of initiatives to unlock market opportunities, connect Tanzania to global market, guide investors to actually comply with market requirements as we are doing it now, as well as, giving you the right information so that you can make informed decision on which market you want to play as a practitioner. I think I have answered your question. Yeah. And if you want to know more about how we facilitate access to market, you can reach out to our market access coordinator, Mr. Stephen Tumaini, and you can share your number right now. Share your mobile number, Stephen, now.
We're gonna write the number on chat box, but also I can just mention it: 0787 159 770. Stephen.
Go to the chat box. There you have Mr. Stephen Tumaini number, and you ask him any question about how you can connect with Taha on the market access services. Okay? Any other question? All right.
Hello.
Maswali yameisha. Karibu Raymond. Ndio,
Yes, yes.
karibu.
Nashukuru sana daktari. Mimi nilikuwa nina swali kidogo upande wa documentation. Presenter amesema kwamba inahitaji uweke information za kutosha. Je, nataka kujua kuna nutrition content ambazo zinakuwa zinahitajika kuweka kwenye lebo ambazo zinatakiwa katika soko la US, UK?
Okay, labda niulize ni bidhaa gani ambayo unataka kuleta?
No, mimi sina bidhaa yote, lakini
Okay.
Okay, nimefanya kwenye
tuna kama nilivyosema tuna guidance under European Community Legislation 1169 2011 na pia sorry. Unanisikia?
Yes, tunakusikia Petronila.
Yeah, nasema tuna guidance ya kulebo vyakula kama ni processed product, for instance, under EU, under Food Information Regulation 2014, and also we have got European EU 1169/2011 as amended kwa ajili ya labeling. However, kama una import products ambazo zipo kwenye ambazo haziko processed, there's no need of putting in nutritional any kind of claims. No claims of nutritional or health mark. I want to advise you if I don't have any specific kind of products, lakini ukiniletea product nitakwambia. Kwa hiyo product unaotakiwa kuleta ni lazima iwe fit for market supply and in compliance with the regulation EC 178/2001 Article 14, and vile vile kwenye traceability and is Article 18 of EC 178/2001. Na vile vile under Food Information Regulation 2014 on the labeling, and also under EC 1169 labeling regulations 1169/2011 is amended. Those are the regulations required. Lakini kama unaleta product kama jam au marmalade, tuna regulations za compositional tofauti. Kama unaleta chocolate kwa mfano, tuna chocolate regulations tofauti. Kama unaleta asali, tuna honey regulation 2015. So it's different for each particular product. Without having a product in hand, siwezi kukupa advice. Lakini ukiniambia product exactly that you intend to ship, I can advise you on labeling based on food regulations. Thank you. I hope I've answered your question.
Asante sana.
Nashukuru sana.
Yes. Dear MEM participants online, tunaomba kupitia kwenye chat box tumetuma link kwa ajili ya kufanya registration. Naomba mjaze taarifa zenu, email, namba ya simu pamoja na jina la kampuni au biashara ili tuweze kupata details zenu za information, ambapo tutatuma presentation pamoja na recording ya hii kikao cha leo.
Thank you, Jerry. Asante sana. Please register so that you don't miss the summary of this very important discussion. Okay, LM or I, karibu.
Asante, thank you so much for this useful meeting. Apologies, I joined a bit late. So I have two questions. Number one, my company is registered as a sole proprietor. Am I still eligible to trade? And then the second question is, when it comes to payment, how does that work? Thank you.
Is it registered in the United Kingdom?
No, in Tanzania.
You can trade, you can import huku kama unaleta kitu chakula cha aina. Oh, you speak English. Okay. If you're bringing, whether you're a sole trader, you're a limited company, you're corporate, you're PLC, you can import. There is no restrictions regarding what sort of company or type of company it is. And whether in terms of payment, that's not really my question. I believe that's to do with Tanzanian authorities. I don't know which payment you are referring to. Samani, sijui kama unaweza nadhani nimejibu kipengele cha kwanza.
Asante sana Madam Petronia. Swali jingine ni la kwetu sasa.
Sawa.
Ni la kwetu unamjibu. Asante Madam. Asante Madam CEO na Petronia. Ni kweli swali jingine la kwetu na umemjibu vizuri kwamba kuna baadhi ya malipo ni ya serikali, kwa mfano kama phytosanitary, lakini kuna huduma ambayo tunaitoa sisi kama Greenset. Tuna kampuni tanzu ya Greenset ambayo itamsaidia sasa kwenye certification na kumwambia ni viwango gani vinahitajika au document gani vinahitajika kwa UK. Kwa hiyo kwa sababu yuko Tanzania na namba yangu nimeitoa ya simu, naomba baada ya mkutano huu tuweze kuwasiliana sasa nimsaidie.
Very good. Thank you. Asante sana Stephen kwa hiyo clarification. Na nafikiri pia Petronila amemjibu vizuri swali lake la kwanza. Okay. Kuna swali jingine? Yes. Okay. You still have a hand? Okay. Karibu. Unashukuru. Asante sana. Okay. Thank you. Right. Do you have any other question? Okay.
Labda kama unapenda Somalia, tuselekti mazao competitive, usiuze kila kitu.
Muhimu tutaitoa. So thank you very much Petronila and Mukesh for your very good presentations and guidance to all of us here on how to comply, but also what is required of us in terms of exporting to international market. So for those of you who would actually need to connect directly with Petronila or connect directly with Mr. Mukesh, you can let us know and we can actually assist with the contacts. Oh, there is a hand again. All right, so I thought we are concluding. That's why I asked if there is any answer. So please, this is the last one, and then we conclude. Range.
Naomba na mimi niulize swali la mwisho.
Ni nani wewe? Motorola? Karibu.
Asante, nimeshindwa kuuliza mwanzo kwa sababu
Hello?
ya niendelee mwenyekiti?
Ndio, endelea.
Nashukuru sana. Mimi swali langu lilikuwa kwa utaratibu mzima wa uingizwaji wa parachichi, hasa kwa sababu ya shida ya logistic kwa sasa inaonekana shipment inakuwa ngumu, na kwa sababu mheshimiwa balozi atakuja kutuletea neno baadaye, nilikuwa nadhani niombe ruksa na mimi niulize hapa swali kuhusu utaratibu wa ndege ya British Airways. Lini serikali itafikiria sasa kuona kama inaweza ikafanya mchakato tena tukapata hiyo ndege ili kupunguza cost. Asante sana.
Asante sana na kwa swali lako, tutakujibu vizuri sana. Naomba nirudi kwa Range, au wewe ndio Range? Range, ulikuwa na mkono.
Hapana, mimi Kisoki.
Okay. Karibu Range, uliza swali lako. Okay, amenisapia. Basi tutakujibu, alafu tutamuomba mheshimiwa balozi na yeye sasa atatufungia, na nianze kwa hili la kwako. Ni kweli bado tunafanyia kazi swala la ndege ya mizigo ili tutoe mazao yetu hapa Tanzania kupeleka kwenye masoko moja kwa moja. Sasa hivi bado tunatumia ndege za abiria na kuna wakati ni changamoto, lakini mzigo huo ameubeba Taha Fresh na kazi yake kubwa ni kuhakikisha kwamba tuna nafasi kwenye hizo ndege za mizigo ambazo zipo. Leo tumetoka kwenye mkutano muhimu sana na Balozi Shija, na tupo kwenye mchakato wa kuanza mazungumzo na kampuni kubwa kabisa ambayo iko Sweden, ambayo wao wana ndege zaidi ya 214 na ndani yake kuna baadhi ya ndege za mizigo. Kwa hiyo leo tumeanza rasmi safari ya kuanza tena kunegotiate na carriers kuona ni namna gani tutarudisha ndege ya mizigo kutoka Europe kuja Tanzania na kurudi. Kwa hiyo umeuliza swali kwa wakati mwafaka, kwa sababu leo tumetoka kuanza mkakati huo rasmi, na tunategemea mpaka mwezi wa pili mwaka kesho tunaweza tukawa tumeshafika mahali kwenye eneo la kuleta ndege ya mizigo Tanzania, ambayo inaweza kuservice masoko yetu ya Europe kama ilivyokuwepo ile ya MK Airline ambayo sisi Taha tulikuwa tunaimanage. Kwa hiyo nimesema nitoe hiyo taarifa na niseme kwamba mchakato unaendelea na kuna light in the tunnel. Lakini kingine, kabla sijamuomba mheshimiwa balozi nimkaribishe na yeye aseme nasi, niwaambie tu wadau wetu ambao mko hapa kwamba Taha kwa kushirikiana na ubalozi wetu chini ya uongozi mzuri sana wa balozi wetu Kairuki, tunaenda kuwa na mtaalamu wetu sasa huko UK, ambaye atakuwa kama ni trade expert, atakayekuwa anaangalia masuala yote haya ya usafirishaji, masuala yote ya masoko na masuala yote ya teknikali yatakayokuwa itakayotusaidia sisi kufikisha mizigo yetu UK na nchi nyingine za Ulaya. Kwa hiyo huo ni mchakato ambao unaendelea, na very soon tutakapokamilisha mchakato huo tuta-announce officially kwamba ofisi hiyo imefunguliwa rasmi chini ya ubalozi wetu kule, ili sasa kuchachua ushiriki wa makampuni ya Tanzania kwenye kupeleka bidhaa zetu kwenye masoko ya UK na Ulaya. Kwa hiyo ni process inayoendelea. Kwa kusema hayo, ninaomba sasa nichukue nafasi hii na kwa heshima na taadhima kumkaribisha balozi wetu wa Tanzania nchini UK aweze kusema na sisi na vile vile kutufungia mazungumzo yetu ya leo. Mheshimiwa Balozi, karibu sana.
Asante sana. Nashukuru sana Dr. Mkindi, mwenyekiti wa Taha na timu nzima ya Taha. Nianze kwa kutoa shukrani. Shukrani kwa watoa mada wetu, Mzee Lakani na dada Petronella. Kwa kweli mmetoa elimu kubwa, elimu nzuri ambayo imefungua watu kupata uelewa na ufahamu wa masuala ya soko la Uingereza. Kwa hiyo ninawashukuru sana, kwa mchango wenu. Mzee Lakani nimekutana naye na Petronella kama wiki 3 zilizopita, na nilivutiwa sana na kazi nzuri anayofanya pale ya kuimport bidhaa kutoka sehemu mbalimbali duniani kuleta katika soko la Uingereza, lakini anauza na kwenye masoko mengine ya dunia, na alinipa confidence kwamba Tanzania inaweza, Watanzania wanaweza, wanachohitaji ni kupewa elimu na kushikwa mkono, kuongozwa namna ya kufanikisha. Na yeye alisema yuko tayari kuweza kutoa elimu hiyo, na nashukuru leo ametekeleza ahadi yake. Kwa hiyo mzee, nakushukuru na naomba uendelee kutusaidia Watanzania katika jitihada zetu za kuaccess soko la Uingereza. Na Petronella pia namshukuru sana kwa kazi kubwa na nzuri anayoendelea kuifanya. Kipindi cha mwaka mzima huu na before, Petronella amekuwa mstari wa mbele kutoa elimu kwa Watanzania ambao wanataka kuaccess soko la Uingereza. Yeye yuko ndani ya system, kwa hiyo anajua nini kinatakiwa, anajua wanaofanikiwa wanafanyaje, na anajua wanaoshindwa wanakosea wapi. Kwa hiyo namshukuru na nategemea tutaendelea kushirikiana kwa ajili ya lengo letu la kupromote exports za Tanzania UK. 3 ni washukuru washiriki wote. Kwa kweli nyote mmekuwa wasikivu, mmeuliza maswali mazuri kwenye chat room, na wengine mlipata nafasi ya kuuliza. Ni maswali ya msingi na yatakayosaidia sana watu kupata uelewa katika jitihada zao za kuongeza mauzo. Na niwapongeze kwa kweli kwa mchango wenu wa kuchangamkia hili soko. Labda niwaeleze tu takwimu. Mwaka 2021 mauzo ya bidhaa za Tanzania kwenye soko la Uingereza ilikuwa ni paundi za Kiingereza milioni 49. Na mwaka 2022 mwaka uliofuatia mauzo yaliongezeka kutoka paundi milioni 49 yakaenda mpaka paundi milioni 185. Na mwaka jana mauzo yetu yamefikia paundi milioni 220. Na mwaka huu hadi June tulikuwa tumeshafikia paundi milioni 180, na tuna mategemeo by the time tunafunga mwaka huu mwezi ujao probably tutakuwa kwenye paundi milioni 200 au zaidi. Kwa hiyo hii ni trajectory ambayo inaonyesha mauzo yanaongezeka, na yanaongezeka kutokana na nini? Nyinyi kufanya biashara kuchangamkia soko la Uingereza. Na sisi malengo yetu ni kufikia paundi bilioni 1 ifikapo mwaka 2030. Ninaamini tunaweza tukafika with cooperation kati ya wadau, TAHA, wafanyabiashara na stakeholders walioko kwa upande wa Uingereza. Tukishirikiana tunaweza. Kuna bottlenecks ambazo lazima tuzishughulikie. Hiyo issue ya logistics, usafiri ni moja ya bottlenecks muhimu, lakini pia kuna baadhi ya kasoro na changamoto ziko upande wa nyumbani, lazima zishughulikiwe na zenyewe. Kuna wadau wanaohusika, lakini pia kuna vikwazo viko upande wa huku, non-tariff barriers, ambazo na zenyewe lazima tuzishughulikie ili tuweze kufikia malengo ya paundi bilioni 1. It's not so ambitious kwa sababu Kenya jirani zetu wako wameshafikia paundi milioni 700. Sasa kama Kenya yuko kwenye 700, sisi ku aim a billion in the next 5 years, it is something that we can achieve, kwa sababu tunaelewa sehemu kubwa ya bidhaa tunazouza sisi huku ndio hizo wanauza wa Kenya, na sisi tuna produce zaidi kuliko wa Kenya. As a matter of fact, hizi statistics za Kenya, sehemu ya bidhaa zao zinatoka Tanzania. Kwa hiyo sisi tuna nafasi nzuri, ni kujipanga tu kukabiliana na changamoto ambazo zipo. Na ninawashukuru sana na kuwapongeza TAHA. Kwa kweli with the spirit ya TAHA tutatoboa. Yani naamini kabisa, kwa sababu wako committed, wako serious, they mean business, hakuna ubabaishaji. Kwa hiyo mimi naomba wale wote ambao wajajiunga kwenye hii association wafanye hivyo, wajiunge, kwa sababu kuna value ya kuingia kwenye TAHA. Yani ukiingia pale unajua unapata msaada wa ukweli, sio ubabaishaji wala sio siasa. Ni business, they mean business, and they are always there to support business. Kwa hiyo nitoe rai kwa mnaoshiriki humu, kama mjajiunga basi mjiunge, kwa sababu wana mambo mazuri yenye tija ya kuwanufaisha. Basi baada ya kusema maneno haya, ni washukuru kwa ushiriki wenu na ni waahidi ushirikiano wa ubalozi. Mimi na wenzangu tupo tayari kuwapa support, na niwakumbushe tu, support tunayotoa kwenu sio favor. We are not doing you any favor, it is our duty. Tuko hapa kwa kodi zenu kwa ajili ya kuwatumikieni nyinyi. Kwa hiyo msiache kutusumbua, msiache kututuma kazi, ili tuone Tanzania na Watanzania mmoja mmoja wananufaika na soko la Uingereza. Kwa hiyo baada ya kusema maneno haya, niwashukuru sana, asanteni sana, niwatakieni jioni njema mlioko nyumbani huko Tanzania na mchana mwema mlioko Uingereza hapa. Asanteni sana.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Balozi.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Balozi, asante sana kwa kazi yako njema na ushirikiano wa kutosha. Sitaongeza neno maana umeshasema na umeshafunga. Mungu akubariki na wadau wetu wote, kazi njema. Kuna swali limeulizwa hapo, unajiungaje TAHA? Yeri, unaweza ukasema hivyo wakati tunafunga, unajiungaje TAHA? Weka namba ya Loveness hapo. Tutaweka namba ya mtu wa membership hapo. Tafadhali sana, kama unataka kujiunga na TAHA ama kuelewa zaidi kuhusu TAHA, tafadhali wasiliana na hiyo namba ambayo tunaiweka hapo sasa hivi. Kabla hujatoka, naomba usome namba hapo ya dada anaitwa Loveness Giga. Basi tunawashukuru sana Mheshimiwa Balozi, asante. Mukesh, asante sana. Petronila, thank you.
Kitu moja, hiyo mzee ya Tangauzi, mimi nataka kusaidia yeye. Uliza yeye kama yeye iko na documents yote, na kama yeye iko na size hiyo tutoma kwa 150 mpaka 300 grams each piece basically. Kama yeye iko na hiyo, ama kama bei iko sawasawa, sisi nawezi kuleta by air 10 tons, 10,000 kilos.
Wow. Soko, mtu kashapata soko hapa jamani. Tunakushukuru sana Mr. Mukesh. Hapa mtu wa tangawizi ameshapokea soko la UK. Sasa wewe kama ndio mtu wa tangawizi, haraka sana wasiliana na Steven, ili sasa Steven aanze kukuguide vizuri sana namna ya kuingiza hiyo bidhaa kwenye soko. Asante sana Mr. Mukesh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you everyone.
Aya, jioni njema.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.